Welcome to HTM on the Line, the podcast that is for HTM by HTM. I'm your host, Bryant Hawkins Sr. Today, we're thrilled to introduce you to a remarkable individual who has not only defied the odds, but has also carved a remarkable path for herself in the HTM industry. Jennifer Chester, a mother, technician, and inspiring leader, joins us to share her incredible journey. Jennifer's story is a testament to courage, unwavering determination, and boundless inspiration. She's a shining example of someone who has not only mastered the technical aspects of the HTM field, but has also risen as a respected leader within her community. Her contributions have left an undeniable mark on her profession and on the many young people she comes in contact with. And today, we have the privilege of hearing her story. Jennifer, welcome to HTM on the Line. It's so great to have you as a guest. How are you doing today?
Well, thank you for having me, and I'm doing excellent today. Thank you so much for having me on.
But before we get started, can you tell us a bit about your background and journey into the HTM industry?
Sure. So I had a very untraditional journey actually into the HTM community. I started out going to college, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, thinking I was going to major in art. And that's what I did. But I realized that art majors don't make very much money, right? So after I got out of college, I went to the Air Force as a reservist, and I got training to be an avionics technician. So I worked on C-130s for a while, and I was trained in C-130s. And I learned that I had had an affinity for tech and electronics and stuff like that. And I really loved it. And when I transitioned out of the military, I was trying to find something that kind of like worked with both sides of the person that I am. I really like helping people. And then also I had the technology, electronics, engineering side of me. So I took a position with DaVita. And that was my first experience with healthcare, technology at all. And it was trial by fire. But it was amazing because I really felt like I was making a difference. And that was when I was sold on medical devices and just being in this industry, because it's so unique in the fact that we get to deal with high level technology. And then at the same time, we're also very much a part of the patient and making sure they get the proper care, because we're maintaining the machines that they're using to help them, sustain the medical industry.
In the HTM industry, you mentioned how diverse it was. How do you stay up to date with the latest advancements and trends?
So like I said, with DaVita, it's very much trial by fire. I think that every day, in the clinics that I work in now, like we're getting new equipment and stuff. And it's a matter of just asking questions, talking to the right people, making sure like I stick around and hang out when they're doing installations so I can see what's going on. In addition to just looking it up, sometimes just spending some time reading the technical manuals and stuff like that, trying to make sure you're prepared for the next repair or the next maintenance. And luckily, the company that I work for, Crothall, is very good about sending us to training. So if there's anything that we want to be trained on, usually all we have to do is say the word and they try to make it happen for you.
Do you see any or face any challenges as a female professional in the HTM industry? And if you did face a challenge, how did you overcome it?
So I mean, I think I definitely face challenges as a female in the industry, more so because it's the fear of the unknown. A lot of people, when we walk in as a female technician and I've got my tool belt around my waist and everything, they're like, wait, you're here to fix it, because it's new, it's different. It's like you don't look like the normal guy that comes to fix it. So you always have to like build a relationship with your staff, like the nursing staff, the doctors and stuff, almost at the ground level. Well, where sometimes I think that other technicians come in and they automatically assume they know what they're doing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of building the complicated part is just building that confidence in the customer, letting them know that, hey, I also can do this job just as good as anybody who doesn't look like me who comes in here.
And how long have you been in the industry now?
Oh gosh, I think it's been 17 years now.
Oh wow, 17 years.
Yeah. Okay. It's been a while. Yeah.
So in the 17 years you've been in the industry, what would you think it's one of your fondest moments that you can reflect upon?
Goodness. I think when I was field service at my previous position, lots of beautiful traveling. Like I spent several weeks in Hawaii, just there to work on medical equipment, which was amazing. It's just thinking how this job can take you to the most amazing places.
That was leading to my next question. I was going to ask you can, because I try to channel my podcast to the young people. So if you can maybe give some type of advice or encouragement to a biomed student who's listening to this podcast, what could you give him as far as advice when he comes into this industry?
I would say to always take steps forward. If they are interested in this industry, like in the military, they used to say every day starts with one leg out of the bed. You just keep moving forward. You keep going and don't let anything stop you, because you'll run into challenges. There's challenges in every industry, but there's certainly challenges in this one. But as long as you keep pressing forward, you'll see a lot of sunny days.
Great advice. Great advice. How do you feel about trade shows like AME and the Expo? Do you go to any trade shows or take part in that?
I have been to the trade shows. I went to the ICE conference recently. Now I've been to a couple of other trade shows as well when I was working in dental, but like there's a wealth of knowledge in trade shows, not only just for, just being there and talking to the different vendors and learning from them and also creating relationships with them, but just all, 10 brains is better than one, right? So it's like just having all of the people as a resource, like the people that you meet and the people that you run into, and you learn that they're really good at imaging or infusion pumps or something like that. So it's like taking that phone number and saying, hey, I can give this person a call, and just creating kind of like a team atmosphere around just the industry as a whole, because I think we all have the same goal. We may all work for different companies and different, in different industry, or not industries, but different situations. But I think we all have the same goal, and that's better patient outcomes, absolutely, right?
So you would definitely recommend that HCM professionals, if they can, attend trade shows.
Yep, go to a show. Yeah, absolutely.
I personally believe in them trade shows also. It's a great networking avenue. You definitely will gain knowledge just by going there, because it's a lot of people be there from different levels of experience. So it's always a win-win. I encourage it also. Now,
absolutely.
Now I did a little research on you, and I ran across this thing, NEXTJENN Tech Mom. What is this about? Yes. Tell us about this.
So NEXTJENN Tech Mom is a nonprofit organization that I started in 2021. I actually started doing YouTube videos in 2020, where I kind of like, it was during COVID and I was doing videos and I was doing activities with my kids as well. And I was like, I should start doing some videos. So it started out with just teaching kids electronics online and doing little projects like doing robotics projects and stuff like that. And it just kind of like steamrolled into something amazing. So now NEXTJENN Tech Mom is actually hosting live classes at the Woodlands Parks and Recreation at Bear Branch, the recreation center at Bear Branch Park. I'm sorry, that's the name. So we do classes and basically we get in there and we just geek out. It's just an opportunity for kids to learn the fun side of science. There's like, and I'm not taking away, I think they have excellent educators here in my area. They go to, science classes and they have a great time. But this time is not like school. This time is like, if we say we're doing rockets, we're out there firing rockets. You know what I'm saying? Having a good time. Or if we're doing robotics extravaganza, we're pulling out some robots and we're going to have a really good time with robots coming up here in November. So it's just been great. And now we have the NEXTJENN Tech Mom Mobile Museum, where we actually do marketing events. And also we do events with schools where we take NEXTJENN Tech Mom to the school and we set up, hovercrafts and robots and everything for the kids to just get their hands on some stuff and have some fun.
Hold up a second. I mean, you just gave me a lot of information just now. let's see if we can sift through this somewhat. You have a YouTube channel. What is your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is NEXTJENN Tech Mom.
I'll definitely put that into context too for everyone. And you host live classes. Now, in what city is this we're talking about?
It is in the Woodlands, Texas.
Woodlands, Texas. That's what, North Houston, right? And what days do you offer these live classes on?
So we do it the second Saturday of every month.
And for what ages?
Right now it's from 6 to 10 years old, but I do allow students that are younger than 6 as long as they're accompanied by a parent. Because we always build something. Our motto is learn it, build it, play it. So we actually build, if we're working on rockets, we're building rockets and then we're firing them.
And
so
is there a cost?
It's $15 if you are a resident in the Woodlands. And if you are not a resident in the Woodlands, it is $20 per class.
And how long the classes usually last about?
An hour. The classes are an hour, and they always get something to take home as well.
And you said also a mobile museum. So that's like a brand, or would you bring stuff set up, or what does this mobile museum consist of?
So the mobile museum is actually, we're working on acquiring a bus right now, but currently our mobile museum is where we just bring all of our exhibits that we do in our classes, like our hovercrafts, our robots, all of our submarines, things like that we do during classes. And we host an event at the schools, the local schools and rec centers, and also like marketing events. We've done marketing events where we just go out and allow the kids to play. And they love the robots. They love doing, that kind of stuff.
So it's like a pop-up event, more or less, that we having.
Exactly. Except it's just a learning opportunity for them.
Beautiful. Yeah. So all this came from you sitting idle during COVID.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes. I know it's
how
crazy.
Many people are on your team?
So it is actually 5 of us on my team. Started out with just me, and then it was me and my dad. And then I have my one of my closest friends, Dr. Jacqueline Yvonne Cook. She is a certified school counselor. She works with me on, curriculum and stuff like that, on what to do for the kids. And then I have another very close friend of mine, Robert Walker, and he is the recreation director for Macon Parks and Recreation director. So he's like the rec guy. He's the one who tells me if it's going to be fun. Are the kids going to want to do it? And then also my mother is part of my board as well. She's part of my team. She is a certified math teacher of over 30 years. So she knows how to get the kids engaged, and she also knows how to implement real curriculums into fun activities.
But I also read,
yes,
looking you up, you had this acronym S.T.E.A.M. What's that about?
Yes. So it's STEAM. It's science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. Those are all things we try to implement in each one of our classes and in the mobile museum. The reason why normally it's STEM, right? So it's S.T.E.A.M, but we added the A because, like I had said earlier, when I started out, I was an art major and I really loved art. And I realized that, art is a major part of who I am too, and it's a really good part of holistic learning as well. So I definitely wanted to add that in there, as part of NEXTJENN Tech Mom.
So when these kids, let's just say, for instance, we have some parents listening. You say you bring the kids there, you're teaching them how to build rockets. What else would you talk to the children about?
So basically, I just want to get them excited about science and technology, and then also just building things and being able to start something, finish it, and know that it's amazing when they're done. The whole point of it, one of my biggest hobbies that I love to do, I like robotics kits and electronics kits and stuff like that, because it gives you some kind of gratification, right? That you start out with all these millions of pieces, and then once you've put everything together correctly and everything, and then you have this robot or you have this thing at the end that's just fantastic. So I really think that it stems from that a little bit, and it gives them just a sense of purpose to actually put their hands on stuff and actively put stuff together and see how amazing it is within that hour. So I think my takeaway is that science is cool, technology is cool, and it's not the boring stuff that we read in a book sometimes. I mean, that's part of it, but there's a cool side as well. And,
it's like you're bringing it to life. Nice. I mean, you can read about it, but to actually see it in action, it sticks with you longer. And like you say, they all tie in: science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. They all like distant cousins, I guess you can say. They all blend well. Right. But I've never heard it put that way. I'm sitting there thinking about this while we're talking, and I think arts can be incorporated in that. And I commend you for what you're doing, because I know it takes a lot of time for you to put something like this together. And it's all nonprofit, I'm assuming.
It's nonprofit, all great. Nonprofit.
That's great. Now, do you have a family of your own?
I do. That's why I'm NEXTJENN Tech Mom, right? So I have two little ones. And it's Jackson Kennedy. I call them my not so twins because they are 1 year apart. So everywhere we go, people ask me, are they twins? Are they twins? And I'm like, no, they're not so twins.
So are they involved in this process also? I would want to say they are.
Absolutely. They are very much involved. They go to all of my classes because they have to be there, of course. Not only that, I get a lot of what I do just from working with them. Like I said earlier, like I started out just doing robotics kits with them during COVID too, because we were at home. They weren't at school. I was furloughed at the time. So we were just, at home doing kits and building robots and stuff like that. And I was like, I bet other kids would like to do this too. This might be a fun thing for the community.
Definitely is. It's a fun thing for adults. I mean,
yeah,
it's great. Exactly. I mean, the kids, they're getting all of this knowledge in coming to each time you have one of these shows, they're there. So eventually they can become instructors as they get up in age with it and keep the family tradition going.
Yeah.
So what's your future plans for NEXTJENN Tech Mom? Is there anything you could share with us?
So, I am working on some things right now. Of course, we're trying to get the bus for the mobile museum, but I also kind of have been thinking about starting a podcast of my own, called Small Talk Big Tech. And it's basically going to be an avenue for kids to ask people in the industry what they do and just give them give them a platform where they can ask questions that pertain to them, that they want to know about the different careers that are out there. Because I feel like that was something that was missing for me as a kid. I felt like, my parents came home from work and they acted like they didn't even want to be there, right? They were happy to be home. So it wasn't something that I looked forward to. It wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to go to work. You know what I mean? But sometimes, there can be a lot of fun stuff that our careers entail and that they have. So I want the kids to be able to ask some of their own questions and get a real idea of what it is that we all do for work.
I love my job. I can tell you that, honestly. And I'll be glad to answer any questions. If you need someone to be your host or be your guest, you can ask me any questions you want.
Oh, the kids are hosting.
I would love to see who do the editing for your show.
Right.
So I think that's great. I mean, that will definitely broaden the horizon. So you're going to have the kids hosting. So what, you're going to just gather a few kids together and they're going to come up with their own questions and...
So I would basically ask, I'll start out with my kids and some kids from friends of theirs as well, but just give them a couple of questions to go off of, and maybe create a few of their own, just to give them an idea and also so they won't be super nervous, because I know how that can be too. I have those same nerves myself.
No, I was part of a career day and they had like 2,000 high school kids came. And this one group, they all had questions prepared to ask. And it was a special needs group.
Right.
So they had their questions prepared for us. And each one asked their question, wrote down the answers. I thought that was pretty cool. So what you're saying, it does make some sense. And I think if they prepare the questions, I guarantee you won't have a problem finding people. And if you can't find any, let me know. I can find a bunch for you also. Is it strictly going to be H.T.M. professionals you want them to ask questions to, or are you going to be across the spectrum of careers?
I want to kind of cross the spectrum of careers because although I love H.T.M. and I think that everybody should do it because it's amazing, I also think that the kids should have a broader perspective of what's out there for them. And then also, not only that, like, everybody's not cut out for it. Some of us, as far as cut out for it, I mean, like everybody doesn't want to do that, so they may want to be an automation technician or, something like that.
Yeah,
so I want to give them.
Let's not cut short H.T.M. now. We got about 20 different things you can do.
No, I'm not cutting short. Like I said, I love it.
Equipment. You can be on cybersecurity side. You can be on the networking. And I get what you're saying. I'm just giving you a hard time. But I think personally, I don't know who wouldn't fall in love with this industry if they really took time and see what it's about, because it's about saving lives pretty much. And that's my mindset with it.
Yeah.
But I think that would be an awesome podcast. I'm trying to think if I even heard of kids hosting a podcast or something involving kids. It's probably out there somewhere. I'm more than sure. But
Yeah.
like I said before, I'll be great. If you want to use my platform to do your first one, you're welcome to. I'll be glad to assist any way I can because I think it's a great idea to be giving back to the kids.
Okay.
And one
I would
thing I
love
always
that. Yeah.
ask too, like I said before, I asked you a question about what you can tell a new person that's coming into the industry. What could you, what advice can you give to a female technician who's, because you said you've been in the industry for 17 years. What advice you could give to one,
Yeah.
say she's been in the industry 8 years and she seems to be stagnated, not moving forward, but not going backwards. What advice could you give her?
I would say create your own lane. Sometimes we are fighting in a lane we don't belong in, and it could still be an HTM. It could still be, in what you want to do, but sometimes you have to create your own lane.
Exactly. Got to get out the comfort zone.
So yeah, get out of the comfort zone and do what, follow your spirit and your heart and create your own lane. Sometimes that's what we have to do as females in the industry, and that's what we have to do as people, period. Sometimes it's a struggle. It can be a struggle, I'm not gonna lie, but when you start creating your own lane and being successful at it, you'll start noticing all the people that, well, how did she do that?
And then you won't have to deal with that big enemy called regret. Because you sit there saying, man, exactly. I wish I would have tried it. Just you have to get uncomfortable. You can't just stay comfortable and expect things to happen. I tell people all the time, you can't expect great things if you're not doing great things. It's not going to come to you unless you help make it come to you. That's that.
Yep. Yep. And you have to be driven. You have to, and like I said, when you create that lane, you drive as hard as you can in it.
Hey,
no traffic, just go. Put your foot on the pedal.
Now,
go.
I enjoyed talking with you so much, Jennifer. We have to do it again once you get the next things moving forward. I'm glad you can come back anytime you like. But before we leave, though, I want you to give some advice to everyone who may be listening, whether it's a new engineer or someone who's been in the industry 20 plus. What encouragement can you give to the HTM industry as a whole that you think would be some good encouragement or motivation to them?
Just never forget who you're doing this for. Remember that our patients can be our mothers, our aunts, our grandmothers, our children, our family, our neighbors, the person that you that checked out your groceries at the grocery store. Just remember that what we do, even though sometimes we're not always patient facing, that we're sitting in front of a machine, this machine, it could be a life-saving, or it could be the device that makes a difference in that person's life. So just never forget that. Keep it, close to you, close to the
well said,
cup,
well said.
So.
Well, thank you once again, Jennifer, and I wish you much success in your HTM career. I wish you much success in your NEXTJENN Tech Mom platform. And if you need any type of help or assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll do any and everything I can to help you. I wish you the best.